Well, I guess I first really thought about my relationship with Christ when I was 12 years old. I was strong in my church. I was raised Catholic. My mother is devout Catholic. And I always had a relationship with the church, but I really didn't have a relationship with Christ. I didn't know it, but going back and looking at it, Naples, Florida, in Collier County, where I lived, had the most millionaires per square mile than anywhere in the country. I remember saying to my mom, I said, "Mom, here's the top 10 list of the top 10 cars in the world, and you have number 7 and Dad has number 3. And my mom just kind of said, "Huh." I didn't know what it was like to want. When I was a kid, I always had. I mean, it wasn't an issue. I needed something, I got it. I went to Florida State and had a great time at Florida State. Being on the football team was just crazy. I mean, here I am on a football team, on a practice field with Warwick Dunn, Derek Brooks, Charlie Ward wins the Heisman Trophy. We won the national championship in 1993, and it was just crazy. Things happened, and when I left Florida State, I went home. I went home back to Naples, Florida, and my dad always wanted to run a custom embroidery company in Naples, Florida, so he started me running the company. I didn't have a relationship with Jesus. And basically, the economy, when we went into a recession in the early 90s, we thought the company being a wedding accessory manufacturer, our company up north being a wedding accessory manufacturer, was recession-proof. We felt that people would always spend money on weddings. People would always, just spend the money. And they didn't. My relationship with my father deteriorated quickly, the relationship that we had. And relationship with my mother and my father got very rocky. Dad basically transferred me to Ohio. Well, I get there, and it's basically like I was on the Titanic. It's like I was on the Titanic that already split apart. I mean, it was like I had a coffee mug, and I was trying to throw the water out of the Titanic. I mean, we were so far into debt. We didn't have the business. My brother quit. He just up and walked out. No notice. My sister left the company, and she went to work for a competitor. Took all our trade secrets. Took 2 of our largest customers. And at this time, I said, "You know what, God? I have to get right with you." And God, to me, at this point, was the church. I have religion. I have church. I'm doing my thing every 45 minutes every Sunday. But I have no relationship with Jesus. So I got invited to a church in Ohio by a friend. And so I showed up. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, you invited me to church." And instead of having a 45-minute conversation, just sitting there listening to songs, listening to a priest, just 45 minutes of whatever the Mass was, it was a 2-hour-long celebration. So the next week I showed up at this church, and the next week, and the next week, and then I found out they had a Wednesday night service. So I started going to a Wednesday night service. Something's telling me I have to change my life, and that was Jesus saying, "Follow me." And now I was completely throwing my life to Jesus. I was saying, "God, wherever you lead me, I will follow." The best way for me to say it is the reason I choose to follow Jesus is because I love him. But I know in my heart that Jesus loves me more than I can imagine.